Gotta turn on my light. Oh? Is this a sick joke?
Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be part 2 of my graduation or life after graduation series. I'm going to really just be talking about what I personally did after graduation and what I have found has been the best version of post-grad life for me personally. I've really just been making these videos to help anyone who's going through graduation or who is nearing graduation or who has just graduated in giving you some peace of mind when it comes to deciding what you want to do post-grad. I know a lot of people get really career focused, and that is definitely an option and definitely a good option after grad, but for some people it's just not the way to go. So I'm going to be talking about what I've been doing for the last however many months since I graduated last May. Anyways, I hope you guys are ready for a super chatty video. I'm just going to be talking about the overarching things that I've been doing and why I've been doing them, and hopefully just paint a picture of one version of what post-grad life can look like and help you decide whether or not it's right for you. This is definitely not the right way or the only path after graduation. I'm sure you guys all know that, but I have to say it just, you know, in case. It's really just to paint a picture of an option that I think a lot of people stray away from or feel icky towards or knock themselves down for going through this path. I know a lot of people don't jump into a career after graduation. I'm not the only one who's done that, but I know a lot of people who are really hard on themselves for not doing so, and I want this to be more of an option that's better received. So the first thing I did was hit the refresh button. After graduation, especially graduation from uni, you have been in school for years and years and years of your life. So I really wanted to hit reset on my entire life. I quit the job that I was in. I went traveling for 3 weeks with my cousin. It was the first trip that I did without my parents, and it was a nice 3-week long vacation where I could just lie on the beach and get tanned and eat good food and be far, far away from my real life, and it was such a great experience. I highly encourage you to travel after graduation, not just to see the world and experience a different culture, but to be able to separate yourself from the hectic life that really does surround your space sometimes when you're at home. It's a really good way to just hit refresh and reset your mind, your body, everything, and just experience something that's completely adjacent than your regular lifestyle. It's the perfect time to do so after graduation. We're kind of in the age where we're at the least amount of responsibility in terms of financials. We really only have to look out for ourselves. We don't have a family yet or things that we have to invest in yet, so it's a perfect time to start spending that dough that you worked hard for during your part-time job in school and travel. And then I also went on a vacation with my family, so I had one without my family and one with my family, and that was a really good 2-week vacation where we got to go around the Baltics, and I really got to connect with my family and my extended family, and it was a good way to just kind of spend time with people who you've been kind of neglecting for the last few years where you've been super stressed in school. So I did those 2 things, and then I came back and I actually got a job at Lululemon. I had a couple of friends who were working retail at Lululemon, and they were like, let's just do that, and I was like, why not? I need to be making some sort of money, even if it's not a full-time career job. I wanted to make sure I was still doing something that would allow me to do the other things that I needed to do and wanted to do while still giving me some sort of income. So I started doing that, and this kind of leads me into my next thing that I've been doing, and that is research. I know that sometimes when you're not in a career or you're not in a full-force job, you start to value your time and the things that you're doing as lesser than and not as important, and you start to feel down about the things that you're doing because they're not directly correlating to a job. But I feel like that's such a detrimental way to think. There's so many other things you can be doing that are just as important as the actual work in a career itself. So what I've been doing and what I find to be valuable is researching. I got the job at Lululemon. I started to realize what kind of company I wanted to work for, the values that I wanted to share with my employers, the types of people I wanted to surround myself with, and these kinds of things kind of fell in my lap when I started working for Lululemon, and I started to fall in love with the company as an employee rather than a consumer, and it just added to the list of things that I know that I want in my career moving forward. Now, another research piece that I was doing was going onto LinkedIn or Indeed or all those other job posting websites and actually applying for roles and positions that interested me. And it wasn't because I actually wanted to work in that position, but I did it to solidify the skills that I had. I know it's really hard after school to remember that you have all these skills and remember all the things that you learned, because it's really hard to exercise them when you're not in that specific role that correlates to those skills, if that makes sense. So I've been answering a lot of interview questions, a lot of online job postings, and reading a lot of the requirements in the positions that I know I would want or that I'm striving towards. And it's reminding me of all the things that I know, all the things that I learned, and it's also reminding me of all the things that I don't know and I have yet to learn. And it's nice to be able to go through the requirements list and see, okay, I haven't done these things, or I don't have experience in these things, or I don't know how to do this. And you go and find a way to get those skills and learn those skills and add them to your bucket list of things that you need to do so that you can excel in your career and your role of choice in the future. Then I started meeting with people who were in the roles that I wanted to pursue in the future, and I had coffee chats with them. It's really easy to do these things. You just have to reach out to people on LinkedIn or reach out to your connections for their connections, and you just start emailing people, asking them for coffee chats, and just setting up a list of questions of things that you want to know and are curious about. So for me, I really wanted to know how people transitioned into their career, what was their story, their path, starting from school to their job life, how they've been liking their job, their hardest part of their job, the best part of their job. I just wanted to know their entire story, pretty much. So I met with a bunch of people and they had such good advice. I highly encourage you to just ask somebody for an hour coffee chat. There's so much more you can learn from personal experience than you can from just Googling them online. So I actually met with somebody who worked at Lululemon and who was in a role that was really, really cool and really interesting to me. And one of the best pieces of advice she gave me was to make projects for myself. So that kind of leads me into my next thing, which is make projects for yourself. Once you're out of school, nobody is telling you what to do anymore. Nobody's telling you that you have a deadline for this assignment, or you have this project coming up, or you have to work with these people and get this grade in order to succeed. So you need to be doing those things for yourself. You need to find the things that you're passionate about, things that you want to learn, skills that you want to exhaust, and make those into projects. The girl that I met with made a really good point. She said, all the things that you do with your time that's outside of work, curate this portfolio for what you can offer when you're inside of work. So for me, these projects were all the things that I couldn't do when I was too busy in school. So that was starting up YouTube again, exercising, because God knows I was eating too many chips in university and I was not taking care of my body. Connecting with friends and family, creating content, doing photography, getting into sewing again, all these things that I wasn't able to do in university, but the things that I'm passionate about and actually really enjoy doing and are part of my list of skill sets. I know that sometimes you start doing hobbies and you don't see that direct correlation into a job, but the girl that I met with made a really good point. Is one day you're going to have all these projects that you've been working on and somebody is going to come along and stumble upon all of them, or even just a couple of them, and to them they're going to see value and be like, this girl would be perfect to do this. So for me, my projects show that I'm creative and that I love social media and content making. I'm good at communicating, all these things. And the more you do, the more you have to show for it. It's so much harder to convince somebody through saying that you have these skills as opposed to showing them that you actually do. And the last thing I want to touch on is the fact that I've been taking my sweet ass time, and I'm telling you, I'm milking it for as long as possible. I have someone who's really close to me who has suffered from a lot of mental health issues and a lot of stress due to a lifelong career, and I'm not going to get into it, but it definitely was a wake-up call in terms of me really taking the time to consider what I want and more so what I need out of my life, out of my career, out of my future. And I'd much rather spend the time working on that now as opposed to having those detrimental effects in the future. And I encourage you all to do so. I mean, it's not necessarily for everyone. For me, I'd rather give myself that buffer room and that time to reset after graduation and after years and years of school to really evaluate the things that I need, all the things that I want to do, all the projects I want to make. Now, the thing with taking my time is not everyone has the ability to do so. I am very, very lucky to live in the city that I want to stay in. I have a home here with my family. I'm really close to my friends. So again, it's not for everybody. reality, and I am very privileged and very lucky to have the life that I do that gives me the opportunity to do so, but that just makes me feel the need to take advantage of it more and to encourage you guys who have the same living standards as me to take advantage of the time that you have, because it is such a privilege and it is such an advantage, and it would be such a waste not to milk every second of it. So I hope this video helped you. This has just been what I've been doing for the last however many months. I can't believe it's already been this many months since I graduated, but I do think that this year is the year that I will venture into my career and dive into that kind of realm of my life. But this was definitely a necessary and needed portion of my life that I'm honestly very proud and very happy that I went through. I hope it encourages you not to be so hard on yourself if this is the path you want to take. So anyways, leave a like if you want, subscribe to my channel if you want, and go ahead and comment if you want to continue this conversation, or if you have any questions or concerns or inquiries. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Oh, now it works after I filmed the whole video.